didn't make any sense, but I liked it.
We'll go around the wacky world of sports at 10:45. But right now, it is my pleasure. Somebody told me I brought up my dad too much. You know what? I don't care. I'll bring up my dad as much as I want to.
Please.
And my dad's favorite writer is this next guest right now, Scott Ostler. You can follow him on Twitter at that name, at Scott Ostler. He is a fantastic San Francisco Chronicle columnist. Scott, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Zachariah and Chris. How are you guys doing?
Great. Thank you so much for joining.
We're doing wonderful. Not as wonderful as the San Francisco 49ers. Scott, in terms of your time covering this team, I didn't mean to do blasphemous or anything like that, but I think when I think of what I can compare Brock Purdy to, I think Joe Montana more than any other former 49er quarterback. Where would you go?
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, in terms of comparison, yeah. He's not quite at Joe's level yet, but that's a good comp because they're both, they always said about Joe, he's not super athletic and stuff, but he always got it done. He could move around. He had that instinct, and I think Brock is a lot like that.
Scott, I'm wondering, so we've been talking a lot about, obviously the 49ers have gotten off to a great start, but who do you see right now as the biggest competitor to the Niners in the NFC right now?
Got to be the Eagles, I think.
Right? Just flatly? No Dallas? No Seattle?
No. Just flatly the Eagles. No, I think they can handle both those teams. We'll find out pretty soon on the Cowboys. But they'll have some rough games, but I just see the Eagles as being kind of not only just on the field and everything, but sort of a mental thing. Like the Eagles are in their head a little bit. They'll have to overcome that.
Yeah, well, I think, during the offseason, obviously there was a lot of talk about if they had a quarterback, whether or not, Debo said some stuff that made headlines. Right. But, I guess I see Seattle as more pesky, Scott, in terms of them just being a team. I mean, I think probably the Niners will have home field advantage, so they won't have to go to Seattle probably through the playoffs. But I just see them with Geno Smith. And Pete Carroll, and the defense is starting to get a little bit closer back to Legion of Boom. But you say the Eagles flatly because, in the NFC, there's not a lot. It's Dallas, Philly, and Seattle.
Right. Yeah, and Seattle's a good call because Pete is always dangerous. And last year, it was weird how they came out of nowhere, how Geno Smith just came out of nowhere, and he became a real quarterback and stuff.
Comeback player of the year, Scott.
That's a word. It's still weird, right?
It doesn't make any sense. Where did he come back from?
Being bad,
I guess.
Being bad, right? Yeah.
Scott, the 49ers obviously play the Cardinals this week, and the Cardinals are coming off of the major upset. I would definitely call it a major upset last week of taking down Dallas. Do you see potential for the Niners to kind of possibly overlook the Cardinals, or do you think that win last week kind of, showed the Cardinals enough to warrant the 49ers' attention?
Yeah, I think that caught their attention. Yeah. I think there's, and I think this is sort of Shanahan's main job this year, other than calling plays during the game and everything. His main job is to make sure they don't overlook anybody and they don't get fat and complacent, and they don't let, what Harbaugh used to call Freddie P. Soft. Don't let Freddie P. Soft in the building. And so, yeah, I don't see them overlooking anybody really. And I really think that they are smart enough to see themselves as sort of a team of destiny, that this is a roster and a depth at so many positions that they haven't had in so long, and in some ways maybe ever, in terms of the competition, being ahead of the competition. This is just such a huge opportunity that they would be crazy to overlook anybody at any time.
Zakariah, Chris Watkins right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Honored to be joined by Scott Ostler, fantastic SF Chronicle columnist. Check out his new young adult fiction about a wheelchair basketball team titled Bouncing Back. Go ahead and check that out. Also follow him on Twitter at Scott Ostler. Scott, I want to go all the way around the board. We are Sacramento has the AAA affiliate of the Giants. And I kind of want to ask you this because I love talking to you because to me, you're a historian. I don't mean to age you, but I know that you've seen a lot.
I've been around a while, yeah.
Well, Scott, explain to me why the Giants are not breaking the bank in terms of spending money on players to get them into the playoffs. They've got that gem of a stadium when they were damn near going to be in St. Petersburg, Florida. Never forget that, Giants fans. They've got a gem of a stadium down there. They're printing money with still probably panda hats from years ago. But why are they not spending more money on free agents? I know they went after Judge this year, and then the Correa deal didn't really go down, but like, what's their excuse for not spending more money on players?
Yeah, they're running out of excuses. I agree with you. And this offseason is going to be huge. They've got to come up. I don't think they're going to get Shohei. I don't think they have a chance at him. I think the Dodgers have him locked up. And had the Giants made a really nice, tough run for the last month of the season, I think they might have cut Shohei's attention and they would have had a shot. But the way that they folded, I think he just totally scratched the Giants off his list. So, but there's other free agents out there, and this is the off season. If I'm running the team, if I'm in charge, owning the team, I'd say this off season, you better get at least 2 good, really good quality free agents, not Shohei quality, but quality free agents, or get out of here. Because enough of the excuses. We know Judge, they were never going to get Judge. The Yankees had him locked up. And Correa, I think that was legit. I think they really saw something there. I don't think they got cold feet and tried to cheap out. I think that was just a fluky thing. So in a way, they can make the case that, okay, it's been fluky so far. And we took a genuine shot at these guys and didn't get them. And we really meant well. Okay, that's fine. But now it's time to put up or shut up. And they got to come up with somebody, even if it's somebody like, Matt Chapman is available and guys like that, guys who can come in and play every day, everyday star players. They got to get a couple of those. Then you're right. There's no excuse for it. They're making money. And the thing is, they know that because what's happening now, they're not selling tickets. And so they're losing money. So they've got to bring in that. They know the formula. You got to bring in players and the players will bring in the fans.
Scott, yesterday I saw Coach Steve Kerr and new GM Mike Dunleavy spoke to the media for an extended period of time. I'm just curious your general thoughts on the Warriors this season. Do you feel like the CP fit is gonna work out in Golden State?
No.
Cut that up, Nate.
Wow, that is going to be, to me, the question of the season, not just for the Warriors, in some ways for the whole league, because if the Warriors can put this together and make it work, they're going to be a factor and maybe in the finals. But, man, it's hard to see. They picked him up, 6 weeks ago or whatever it is?
Right.
And still, they don't know if they haven't conveyed to us, the outside world, if he's okay with not starting.
Right.
Because to me, if Chris Paul starts 70 games this year, that's weird and it's probably not going to work. And yet we don't know if Chris Paul is going to be okay with coming off the bench. He's never done it for even one game. And it's almost like they're tiptoeing around Chris Paul. Oh my God. We hope if we decide not to start him in the 4th game of the season, he's going to be okay. He's not going to explode on us. Oh shit. They're tiptoeing around the guy. And that's going to be the whole thing. Every day in training camp, it's going to be, how did Chris Paul do? Did he get mad because he wasn't working out with the first unit today? Or it's crazy. I don't remember a situation like this. When they brought in Kevin Durant, they knew it was going to be tough to fit him in. He wasn't their perfect style of player, in terms of their system, but they made it work. And they had to make adjustments, and Steph had to make severe adjustments. And in some ways, it never did work, really, but it did. They won 2 titles, and they almost won a 3rd. So, but this is totally different. Chris Paul is not the impact player that Kevin Durant was, and so this whole tiptoeing thing is going to be very fascinating.
Yeah, and Scott, he was very prickly when he first got introduced to the Bay Area media. I believe he told a young lady, "Are you coaching the team?"
Yeah.
When she said, "How's it going to feel to come off the bench for the first time in your career?" So yeah, and we're going to get into it later, but Kerr says, I don't know if he's going to start. I mean, it's going to be weird how they navigate that. I think he's going to close out. We talked with Marcus Thompson, and it sounds like he's probably going to close out a lot of games. But before I get you out of here, Scott, I wanted to ask you to just lie to me and tell me that the A's are going to remain in Oakland, as that was my childhood team growing up. But I'm going to move on from that because I think it's deep and dark, and the Raiders already left for Vegas and blah, 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 blah. So I will leave you with this. What did you make, because we're up here in Sacramento, what did you make of that 7-game series? Did you walk away from that series getting or having more respect for the Kings than you did before, or did you already hold them in a high regard?
Oh, no. I held them in a high regard and great coach and all that stuff. So, yeah, I came away thinking, yeah, they're legit. They're for real. Yeah. And it's about time. Geez, after so many years of wandering in the wilderness, as Warrior fans know all about that kind of thing. But, yeah, I think they're legit. Yeah.
Follow him on Twitter at Scott Ostler. He is a fantastic San Francisco Chronicle columnist. Go ahead, get a subscription to the Chronicle, okay?
Yeah,
at least get the Sunday edition, right, Scott? Am I right? Yeah. I love the newspaper. I like holding stuff.
Say hi to your old man. I appreciate him reading my stuff.
Right on. And check out his new young adult fiction about a wheelchair basketball team. It's titled Bouncing Back. Scott, you're the best. I love you, man. Have a great rest of your week.
Zachariah, thank you. And you too, Chris. See you guys.
Thank you.
There you go. Scott Ostler.